Okay, no, it's 11:02, so let's get going on this today's webinar. So today's webinar is all about branching. So we will cover how to create branching scenarios in Koantic. So let me, at the same time, share my screen. Yeah, so branching, usually when you do branching, you have a couple of typical use case in mind when you want to do it. In Koantic, I'm going to show today both ways on how we typically customers have been using branching in Koantic. The first one is typically you want to do some kind of an exploration scenario. Things like I want to do I want to talk about leadership, or I have a world map and I wanted people to explore different countries based on different HR policies and other things. So I can have something that let's explore a map, or let's explore something like what kind of a leader are you, or explore different types of leadership. There's no good or bad answers. They're just different paths to allow the learner to move toward each scenarios in the branch, and then be able to explore them one by one and come back and then view all these different types of leadership. And the other one is branching, more like akin to gamification, but it's branching based on questions. And so in that one, what's going to have is I'm going to ask you a question, and based on a pass or a failed answer, I'm going to send you to a slide A or slide B, or video A or video B for that matter. So now let's start the exploration scenario first, and then once we go through that one, then obviously the second one will be the similar options, but we'll just look at the differences between both of them, and then go with the questions on the second one. So to get going in Koantic, let's create a course that we're going to call branching, and then this one will be branching leadership. And in the add page, to start creating your branching scenarios, at the bottom here, you have like, well, yeah, no, these are like at the top, you have our regular like page types, like slides, videos, and other things. And at the bottom, we have quiz, branching, and external content. I'm going to choose branching to start, and we're going to call it start branching. Doesn't matter how we name it. We can always change our names later on if we want to. Once it's done, we arrive on this page, and so the way that we design branching, the first part that we're going to go through is the visual editor. So this is where you create all of the branches, and then you put your connections to them. So to get started, at the bottom right, we have a big plus button, and we click on this to add your first page in branching. And in branching, we can add PowerPoint like slides, like just create slides, or just videos. And to get started, you have these options to either use an existing model that you have built yourself, use a Koantic template, or you can use even a page from an existing course. Hey, I've built this course before, and I want to reuse that page to start building this scenario. So you can always copy things from other courses, use a model, or start from blank. So in this case, we're going to use the blank to get started, and that will be our start page. So now we have here our first page in branching. A couple of quick things to notice on this branching visual editor is, as you add your first page, you're going to see a flag at the top left. This indicates that this page is my start page. Every branching scenario needs a start page to get the user started, and there can only be one point of entry that can lead to multiple paths after. Next part is we can add either more page, or we can do copy of pages. Let's go do add another page. In this case, we're going to add a few videos based on our leadership thing. This one will be our video about coaching leadership type. So this one will be coaching. Then here I've got my first one, and then we're going to explore like 3 types of leadership. So I can either like do a quick duplicate page. Here, then I'm going to rename it to, this one will be all about a visionary leader. And then let's do one more copy. And in this case, it will be, call it the democratic leader. So now we have in the visual, editor, like we have our three options that we want to move from our start page. We want the learner to be able to explore these three different types of scenarios. And how do we connect them together? Because the first part is we create like this visual map, these connectors. And once it's done, we can actually create the actual links that will get the user to move from the start page to all of these videos. So to create like the connectors, as you move close to a card, you're going to see those little arrow pop up, and then you just drag from this arrow to where you want to go. So from the start page, you can go from this page to this video to this other video also. Then I could have something like this will be my end page, because the scenario where people can go to the videos and you can go to my end page to kind of like recap what they've seen, so I can have some kind of an end page. And then I can say, in this case, that all of these videos here will be able to connect and then move after they've seen them, they can move to our end page. And from this end page, you can continue back to their regular course, either through a quiz after or through some kind of more content pages. Once we have it, well, we can keep adding pages as we go along, as if we have new ideas that pops out to keep enriching our scenarios. But now to start building content, I'm going to click on each of these pages and then start actually building the content and the links that will connect from our start page to all of these other pages. So a couple of quick options. As you can see, as we click on the start page, we know that this page has three branches. To remove them at the bottom here, we have this little X beside. So if you want to remove a page out of our scenario, so we want to remove democratic, then I'm just removing a link that connects this one to this one. So like now, from our start page, there's no way from here to go and click and go to this page in our branching scenario. So if I want to get it back placed, this is where I would click to. Now we can see, well, this one is our start page, which we can only have one. I'm going to cover the second option on the other scenario. And then we have these, so we have, all right, so let's go and then get the stuff started. So here in our initial page, I'm just going to add an image so that will kind of present these different styles, so which is already preloaded. So I'm going to add my image here, and I'm going to make this bigger in my editor. This is like building a slide here. So there's like 6 types. I'm just going to connect a few of them, because once we do one, all of the other ones are kind of the same thing. So now we want to say, on this image, I want to add some links that will, because I've got this little nice infographic, and then I want the users to choose their own options. I could have some text that would say, to put a box like this here, and then choose your path. And then on each of these options, I can add some links that will actually move them from this page to our different videos after. So in the add section, I want to create some buttons or some links that are actually clickable and that can have an action to move the learner from one page to the other one. So I'm going to add a button, and I built this little model here. I'm going to add a button here. And now I want to let's make it blank here, because I just want to highlight this text here in this infographic. This is my first button, and then what I want to do next also is make this model here. I want to put this thing here also on the other one, so I can do Control C, Control V, and then Control C, Control V. Then I'm going to add it here. Another one here on coaching. So I'm going to explore these 3 ones in this case. If I want to get these 2 aligned, because I want some well designed, we have a coming up arrange section. So I want to align them top so they look the same from a display perspective, so that they look nice from the learner. And I'm going to move this a little right, a little left here. So now we get 3 potential links that we want to connect to. So if I click on this one, democratic, now I want to attach a behavior. I want to have a click actions. I want this to be a clickable link that will move from this link to the video that talks about democratic kind of leadership. So on the action panel here at the top right, we will choose the unclick option. Click on this here. And now I'm going to say I want to navigate to a page. And since it knows that I'm in a branching scenario, it's going to propose to me first, hey, you're in a branch scenario. Where do you want to go? So below here, I can choose one of my three links that I've connected before in the visual editor. So I'm going to choose here democratic, and then that's good to go. I can apply the same thing here for coaching. Do the same thing on click here, navigate to a page, go to a branch page, and go to coaching. And then let's do this one here. So this will all be done in proper link visionary here. So now I got three links that go to three different videos. I'm going to just take a little step back, and we're going to go into the branch graph here. And we're going to see now that our links that were previously orange, since actually I've actually mapped them here, if I would go back to branching, now I know that from the start page, my links here that were orange have turned blue. So this tells me that in this area, I've actually have connectors or links that goes from my start page to these three other videos. So this is properly mapped, but then there's no links that takes me from that video coaching to my end page. I'm gonna keep them, for now we won't need to fill in because it's the same idea. I could go to my branching video and add links that will let the learner go from that coaching to my end page, or I can even have them go back here. I say, hey, if you want to go back to the start page, I can create a link that will take them back here to the start page, and now they can go back again, and then you can have all of them be able to navigate back and forth. So this creates more links here, but it allows the mapper to go, I want my learners to move from here to my videos, but I want them to be able to go back to my initial start page and choose a different path and now explore other things. And then once they're done, they can click, and then I can now I've viewed them all. I can have them move to my end page once it's all completed. Now, let's go to my coaching video here, and I'm going to put a video, and I'm going to test one out just to see how it works, but they're the same for all of them. So I was in the one, what's my page here? I was on the coaching one, sorry. Coaching. So there it is. And in that coaching video here, what I want to do is I want to either put a little icon that says, hey, let's go back to the to home. So if I would click on my icons, I'm just going to add a little home icon to let them navigate back to the home page. I'm going to use something like this here, and then I could put it here at the top. I could put in blue, and then this would be my link back to the home page. And this icon will be visible throughout the video, in my interactive video, in my behavior section. It's going to be being displayed the whole time. And now I'm going to add a click action to say, well, now I want this page to go back to my home page, to my start page. So now it's done. So now what we've done here is having an initial page that has three links, that each of them goes through three different videos. And to test it out, I can always go to my preview section here, click on preview. Now, as a learner, this is what I would see. I would see at this kind of infographic here, and I'm going to choose my path. We did something with coaching. I would click on coaching, then start my video, and then I can always listen to the whole coaching thing, and could have some additional icons that let the learner go back to the home page. In this case, I've seen the whole thing about leadership. I'm good. Then I'm going to click on my home and then go back to my home page here and be able to navigate to other scenarios. So what we've seen in this one is that one is like exploration map. So it could be like a map, it could be an infographic, or you can have somebody talking about different things, and then it's a way that the learner can click on anything and then they explore at their own time each of these things, and then as they come back, they can go and explore something else once they're good to go. So we just added here links to different things that the learners move from video to video. Now in the second part, and since we've done the basic, will be much faster. But now let's do one that actually going to ask the learner a question, and based on a good or a bad answer, they will navigate from one page to another page. So going back to our editor, now let's add another page in our course, and one more page here. This will be same thing. I'm going to do a branching. This will be sorry, question branching. Okay, click on continue. Same thing here. We're going to add our first page. I'm going to do a video first. And then on that video that will be seen, they can go to 2 different slides. I'm going to get them to go to a slide, let's say I can get them to go to a slide like this here. It doesn't matter, just an example. And then I can have duplicate this. And then this will be our good answer, and this will be here bad answer. In the good answer, let's go to my slide, and I'm going to say here, congrats, you did well. Let's make this larger, we have more text. And then went back to my branch graph. Sorry, it shows the wrong answer. And I could provide more information and navigation path, and let's make this bigger. And then so we know that these two options are, I'm going to provide some feedback based on what they answered, like they moved from the good one to the bad one. So now let's do the same thing, connect our things together, branching here and there. And then on the video, I'm going to add a video, sample bunny video. And what I want to do in this video is that it talks about something specific. I get my video to start. I'm going to say here, let's go ask the learner a question. So in my question would be, I could ask a multiple choice, true or false, matching. All of these things can behave the same way. It depends on what you want to do. But for something simple as like, okay, is great. Let's put it on the right of the rabbit. And then here, I'm going to ask a learner a question. And then based on and we can make this a little bit nicer looking, transparent. So it looks nicer. We can view the background here. So this is my question. And now here in behavior, what I want to do here is I can provide some action. I can either like force the learner to always pass the questions before they move forward, or I can say here on success. Now navigate to a page, to a branch page, and then on success, go to the good answer. And here on the fail, just below our success, option, on below we have like use a different action when question is failed. So if I like this one here, it's going to provide me the same pop-up box, and I can choose the path of the learner based on the failed answer, and I'm going to go to the bad one. Once it's done, now this video has a question being asked to the learner, and based on the response, they will be sent to the good or the bad one. So going back to our branch graph here, I'm just going to put this one first here. So let's go now into preview mode. And we can see that we have our two links are properly set, and I can do the exact same thing. I can say once you're on the good answer, I could say something like, hey, on this page, I'm going to the button that says, hey, you're good, move on. And then from here on the move on, I could say something like, hey, now that you are successful, go to the next page in our course. And going back to the wrong answer, if I go back to my branch graph, I could do something like, hey, here, oops, I'm going to create a link here that says, no, you have to go back to the beginning because you have a bad answer. And then this one, I could have a button that says, now that I've actually mapped it, start over. And then in the behavior, I would say something like, go back now to my video page to start again, and then practice until I get it right. Now let's go into preview mode. And then now we have our video. It starts, it stops, asks a question. Is the rabbit great? Yes, submit. True, continue. Then I go here, congrats, you did well. And then I can now move on to the next page in my table of content. And then, but if I did, if I failed it, now I can have you go back to the beginning and then try again until you have it right. So what we covered is like now from the first one was exploration based. There's no good or bad answers, just exploring different things. And on this one, it was all about you asking the learner a question, and based on that, then they will choose their own path, and then you can go really deep because we have some customers that have like 5 or 10 levels of branching. Some of them can be quite intense, but it can go really deep on this in this area. And you can also provide, as a last point that I want you to show, and then is like I want to provide some visual cue that you did well. So we have here something called a thermometer, or based on it can kind of let the learner have a cue. Am I doing well? And if I'm progressing through different stages of my branching, I can see, am I doing good, bad, or just average? This is good, so I can have something like, hey, I'm going to have this being displayed here. And on the bad one, so we have 5 options, but I can see it's very bad, and I'm going to click on the very bad one here. I would go again, and then doing one last preview run. Go into preview mode. I start here. I would say true. Let's do false here. Then I failed. Too bad. And then here I can just have a cue here at the right. And this cue can be placed wherever you want. You can put it at the top, at the bottom, or but this allows you to have kind of like a user progress along the way, and then let them know that if it's based on facial expression, it could be like, hey, I'm really sad or happy, or other ways to express something. So this is where you would be able to kind of use a built-in tool that gives you a way to kind of have consistency across all your pages, have this kind of like visual cue set in either top right or bottom right, and then have the learner kind of see how he's doing along the way. So that's going to cover branching as a quick overview of what is possible to do with our tool. If you have any questions, it'd be a good time to go through that. So let's see if there's any questions coming up. Okay. Okay, so I don't think we have any questions. So we will be posting this, this recording in the webinar section, and you can always go back and look at it if you have more questions. But if you want to go something, if you felt something was missing in my presentation and you want to know more, just drop us an email, or just go online for a quick chat, and we can answer your questions. If you're not ready now, we can always answer your questions at a later point in time. Quick announcement on June 19. We're going to have another webinar, and this one we'll be covering how to do infographic in Koantic. So we'll be using our shapes, our arranged panels, and other things that allows you to create a beautiful infographic with out-of-the-box tools already built into Koantic. So thanks again for being here today, and the webinar video will be available probably sometime tomorrow, and you'll get a link to go and see it if you want to. So thanks again, and I wish everyone a great day.